Have you ever found yourself struggling to let go? Whether it's what somebody thinks about you, how they treat you, or what they say to you, or maybe it's the choices and actions in their own life. Well, today I've brought you somebody who needs no introduction. She is a mother of three amazing humans, a wife to a husband, Chris, for almost 30 years, and an attorney whose experience is in criminal defense up in New York City. The one, the only, Mel Robbins. Mel, thank you so much for hopping on today.
Jefferson, has anyone ever told you you're a great communicator? As you're sitting there going, have you ever tried to let go? I'm like, oh, this is going to be good. I wonder who he's having on. This is going to be great.
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
seriously.
Who's he having? Listen, I'm eager to listen. Yeah, me too. Really excited about it. Mel, as you know, and we've had the chance to establish a great friendship, which I'm so grateful for, is that the people that are listening right now care very much about how they communicate. And the question I first want to ask you is, how important is self-communication? What does Mel Robbins say to herself? How does Mel Robbins talk to herself?
That's a fantastic question.
Thank you.
No, I'm serious, because how you talk to yourself matters. And I'm 56 years old right now. And how I spoke to myself, my self-talk, was very different for the first 52 years of my life from how it is now. And I, heard somebody, there's an incredible woman who I'm sure you know, and if as you're listening to us, you don't recognize this name, that's okay. I'm going to tell you what she shared with me. Her name is Dr. Julie Smith. And she said recently to me, she said, now, Mel, I want you to imagine the experience of what it would be like to be locked in a room with your childhood bully for a year. Like, how would that feel? And I was like, awful. I mean, and if you just imagine the person that kind of picked on you, or that you were kind of afraid of, or the kind of mean person that you avoided in your school, imagine being locked in a room with them for a year. It would be horrible. And then she said, well, great. Now imagine what it would be like to be locked in that room instead with your best friend. And that obviously would be better, because you'd have a companion. You'd have somebody that you could have fun with. You'd have somebody that would cheer you up and make you feel hopeful, even though you're stuck in this room together, to play games with, to see the brighter side of things, to make you laugh. And I love that visual, because that is your self-communication. The person that you're locked in a room with is a visual example of how you talk to yourself. And as I explain that metaphor for you, and as you visualize it for yourself, just the experience of what it would be like to be locked in a room with a bully versus locked in a room with a best friend, you could viscerally feel what that would be like. And I think what I didn't realize for a long time is just how loud and critical my self-talk and self-communication was. That I didn't see the things that I did well. I saw everything I didn't do right. I could have done 100 things a day, and I'm sure as you're listening to Jefferson and me right now, you've done 100 things already today, even if it's only 10 o'clock in the morning. You've done 100 things correctly. You fed the dog, you got out of bed, you selected a podcast. Like, so many things are like check, 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 but you don't see any of those. You probably have more of a voice that's a bully. And that was my voice for 52 years. I was just laser focused on what I was doing wrong. The one thing I didn't get to, I would look in the mirror and pick myself apart. And I think that there's this mistake in society that believes that if you are tough, or if you are hard on yourself, that somehow that is motivating you. It actually has the opposite effect. Like somehow a lot of us are very successful in life, or we get through the day despite the fact that our self-communication and the way we talk to ourselves sounds more like a bully than a best friend. And so a couple years ago, through a combination of just researching a project that I was working on and getting serious about therapy and working on some things in my marriage and really just saying, I don't understand why I've achieved all this stuff, but I am so burnt out and I feel like I army crawl through the day. And it was surprising to me, although looking back, it doesn't seem surprising when you think about self-talk as either being locked in a room with a bully or locked in a room with a best friend. It was surprising to me how long I lived with a bully in my head. And what I will tell you is this. I am still productive, but I am more motivated, I am happier, and I am able to see the things that are going well because I have changed the way I communicate to myself.
I love that. Yeah, thank you for taking on us on this like 360 journey. I love Dr. Julie Smith, whose new book Open Wind is out and is wonderful. So much of how you put yourself out there. You're very open about your anxiety, the self-doubt, so many things that you didn't learn about yourself until much later in life. So what would you say to the person listening to us right now who, if they were in the room with us, would say, Mel, I'm getting close. I feel like I am on the edge right now. I've almost hit my limit. I am at a place where I feel lost. What would you say to that person who is struggling right now? And where do you draw from to give them the encouragement that there is more for them ahead?
So there's a number of things I want to say. First of all, if you can admit to yourself that you've had it and that you're stuck or that just the way that life is going, it's just not working anymore. What I'm going to tell you, and this is going to sound awful, is congratulations, because that's step one.
Yeah.
Step one of changing your life is having the courage to admit to yourself that the way that your life is going right now and the way that it feels for you no longer works for you. That's it. See, I think I misinterpreted what stuckness was for a long time. I thought stuck meant I'm still. No. Still is what happened before. That's when you were going through autopilot and you're sort of just going through the motions. When you get to the point where you're like, I've had it, I'm stuck, I'm frustrated, I'm lost, I feel scared about this, that's good news because it means the energy inside you is starting to rattle around. You're no longer on autopilot. You just woke up and went, this doesn't work. And so I want you to, first things first, pat yourself on the back because you have declared that the way that life feels isn't how you want it to feel. And that's step one. And you can't change your life without actually doing that first. So that's why I'm going to say, give yourself credit for recognizing you deserve more than where you're at. Number two, I have found that in moments like that the most important thing that I can do next, once I say the way that my life feels no longer works for me, I need to do something. I deserve to feel happier. I deserve to feel better. I deserve to look at the next chapter of my life and build something that makes me feel a little bit better and a little bit prouder of myself. So once you do that, here's what I want you to do. I want you to use a tool that I've used over and over and over again to help me in these moments, because it is daunting when you go, okay, I know I don't want my life to feel like this, but I don't know what the heck I want. No problem. No problem. You don't have to know exactly what you want in your life in order to change it for the better. Because if you don't know what specific career move you want to make or relationship move you want to make, or what project you want to take on, or whether or not you want to move somewhere or what, no problem. Because the single best project to take on when you don't know what to do to change your life is take on improving yourself. So make it a project to either improve your health, or make it a project to improve your mental health, or make it a project to learn a new skill. And the fact that you have chosen to find time to hit play on this episode and invest in listening to something that could teach you how to be a better communicator, that's an example of what I'm talking about. Because if you make yourself and your own improvement just the project you're going to focus on, that I've just spent the last 50 years taking care of everybody else, for this next chapter of my life, for the next 3 months, the next year, whatever you want, I'm just going to make my health a priority. You do that and you will start to feel different. You will start to feel better. You will start to have something to focus on other than the aspects of your life that are dragging you down. And simply creating that as a project actually will help you build some forward momentum. And once you start to build forward momentum, now you're going to start to feel more energized and excited to maybe attack your career or attack the relationship that's not working or attack some bigger problems. But if you don't know what you want out in the future, you deserve to just make yourself healthier. Because if you can do that, you're going to feel better in a week or a month. And then that's going to give you new insight into what you actually might want to take on. So that's step number 2, because a lot of times when people say, I want to change, and then I don't know what I want, that not knowing is what continues to keep you feeling stagnant. Now, third thing I want you to do, because I have come to believe, Jefferson, after 56 years of my own challenges and successes and struggles and things that I've changed in myself, and also doing the kind of work that I do, I have come to believe that the single biggest thing that stands in someone's way and stops them from changing their life or changing their job or becoming financially secure or whatever it may be, the single biggest thing, it's not your ability, it's not your skill level. The single biggest thing that stands in people's way is discouragement. This sense that as I sit here in this moment, and I'm however old that I am, and I'm telling myself this self-talk that I'm stuck, and that no matter what I do, it's not going to work, and things may work out for Mel or they may work out for Jefferson, but they don't work out for a person like me. Like, if you have a sense of discouragement and the self-talk keeps you feeling discouraged, no advice, no plan, no nothing is going to help. Because the discouragement convinces you not to do anything. And so I have this exercise that I've done in my own life over and over and over again that helps me shake that discouragement. And it's this. If you're in a moment in your life where you're feeling very stuck, you can grasp, okay, I got it, Mel. I'm going to work on myself, or I'm going to get a new job, whatever. But I just have this sense that it's not going to work. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to look backward and look all the way back through your life. Because when you look backwards through your life, what you're going to notice is that your life is this meandering path of things that have happened, good and bad to you, that have all led you to this point. And even your lowest, scariest, saddest, most heartbreaking moments were still part of the fabric of experiences that led you to this moment. All of which gave you skills, it gave you wisdom, it brought you to where you are now. And so I think it's very easy to sit in this moment and see how even the lowest moments of your life actually led you somewhere better in the future. You can do the same thing forward to the future. So if you can look backwards and see all the evidence of your life pointing you to a place where you are now, even if where you are now is stuck, you're still better in many ways than where you were way back when. You can also stand in this moment where you feel stuck and a little lost and a little discouraged. And you can remind yourself that this moment too is but a brick on the path that is my life. And I choose to believe that there is a lesson in this moment that is meant for me. And I may not understand why I need to be stuck right now, but I choose to believe that 10 years from now, I'm going to look back on this moment here and I'm going to understand exactly why this was part of a better future that I can't see right now. And that's how I've been able to leverage hope and leverage optimism when I can't quite trust in what's going to happen because I either don't know what's going to happen or I don't have a clear vision about what I want, but I can trust in my own life experience that I can figure it out and somehow it's going to make sense. And that has always just helped lift that fog and that heaviness that despair can cast on you in those moments.
Wow. I mean, there's just so much in there. I feel like that could have been an entire episode, just those 3 points right there. I mean, that is such good, wonderful, applicable advice that anybody can use right away in the way they see things. In my world, what I like to teach is that it's conflict is your catalyst for positive change. Everywhere you've been in life, you've lost that relationship because of a conflict that has led you to a new one. You've had a conflict that caused you to leave that job to create a new one. That the civil rights movement is from conflict that has happened where somebody says, I mean, our whole career as attorneys, somebody says, you know what, hey, I don't like that. That's not right. And it's through that change that we have those positive outcomes. I've also heard it where it's rejection is misdirection or redirection, I think is the right term
And
for
can I
it.
say something?
Please.
Here's the thing, because it builds on what you're talking about with conflict.
Yeah.
The mistake that we make is we think that the organizing conflict is what's happening out there. I don't think that's necessarily true. And if you're stuck or struggling right now, or you're in the middle of a big reinvention or a change that you want to make, I want you to own the fact that the actual conflict that is powerful is the internal conflict that you're feeling because you know you're not in the right job. You know you're not in the right relationship. You know that you're not taking good care of yourself. You know that something is off. And so that internal conflict is hardwired into that GPS system in your body that is trying to keep you aligned and on a path that is aligned with your values and what you deserve in life. And so I love that you're starting with this idea of conflict because, you know, people get stuck and frustrated and lost, and then they get scared because that feels very agitating and disorienting. That's a really good conflict because it means that internally, your body is trying to wake you up and have you go ding, 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 ding. This job doesn't work for me. I shouldn't be treated like this. I'm no longer happy in this relationship. I need to do something about it.
Yes, it is that whenever you have that internal struggle, instead of seeing it as, oh, this is the worst thing. I can't believe this. My life is in shambles. Flip that mindset to say, my body is at work. I am going through growing pains. I am coming out on the other side of it. My body is preparing me to be a different person. It is the metamorphosis of how you're going to be growing. I mean, it is, you are in your cocoon at that moment. I mean, so I love that concept. If you enjoyed that clip and want to see the rest of the conversation, you can click right here. Or if you want to see the latest episode of the Jefferson Fisher Podcast, click right here and I'll meet you there.